Hi, I'm Wespath CIO Johara Farhadieh. I'm joined today by Tina Byles Williams, founder, CEO, and Chief Investment Officer of Xponance. Xponance is our newest asset manager partner and subadvisor for our recently launched social values choice equity funds for our institutional investors. Hi, Tina. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here.
Fantastic. I'm excited about this new partnership.
As am I.
And excited to get to know you more today. So with that, I want to begin talking about your career journey. I truly have an appreciation for entrepreneurs, especially in the financial industry. And so I want to know what inspired you to start your firm. I want to talk about, I realized also that you have a public pension fund background, which I do as well. And so I want to talk to you about what attracted you to that space. So I'm just interested in getting to know your journey. Do you mind sharing a little bit with us?
So first, please permit me to thank you and your team for the honor of partnering with Wespath to manage the Social Values Choice Equity Fund and the opportunity to personally discuss Xponance, who we are, why we do what we do, as well as our investment approach for this mandate. So Xponance was built to be the firm that I wished I could have encountered during my time as a CIO of the Philadelphia Pension Fund in the early 1990s when dinosaurs roamed the earth. What I envisioned was an investment firm that harnesses the alpha opportunity provided by diverse teams, and that is maniacal about three things. First, investment excellence. Second, really understanding our clients' objectives so that we can meet them. And third, to be a force multiplier for effectuating positive change in our industry and in our communities. Our founding mission to transform access to alpha reflects that vision. And so today, are roughly $20.1 billion in assets across multiple strategies such as global equities, fixed income, private markets, and custom index replication strategies, which is what we manage for Wespath.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And so one of the things I'm most excited about is entrepreneurs. And then on top of it is female entrepreneurs. And on top of it, female entrepreneurs of color.
A lot of layers there.
Lots of layers. Lots of layers. And we actually use the term investment excellence as well. I brought that with me. And ever since I've been a CIO, I find it very important to lead with excellence.
Yeah.
In achieving our best. And I noted that that's also something about you. A lot of the times in my experience as a woman of color, we're working 10 times harder. I'm a mom of 3, so I'm always trying to make the best use of my time. And I've been fortunate that I've had leaders that have supported me and recognized my work. And a lot of it truly is merit-based, and I've been able to sort of excel in my career because of these leaders recognizing it. That's not to say there haven't been some challenges where there have been situations where I've probably worked 10 times harder than my counterpart, and my counterpart gets recognized. And I also feel like we usually run to fires and are usually put in very difficult situations. So success is actually a little bit harder because we're dealing with more complexities. And I have gone through that multiple times, and I share these stories with my girlfriends in the industry, and I realized we have that in common, that we're dealing with very complex situations. Can I ask you a little bit about your experience being a woman of color in the financial industry and how that's unfolded for you?
First of all, I like the term we usually run to fires. That's so true. So I would sort of bucket, there's lots of opportunity, that's why we're sitting here, but I would bucket the challenges as twofold. One is the tendency to pigeonhole and steer women and professional and firms of color towards projects and opportunities that are solely prescribed for women or minorities, especially because those opportunities are typically smaller or less profitable than mainstream opportunities. The other is the tendency to to not get the benefit of the doubt, in that, as you said, you have to constantly prove yourself in terms of your competency, your authority sometimes, and your belonging.
Yeah.
And that's why, sometimes when women of color misspeak or, may have made the right decision, but just catches a lucky break, you often hear, or too often you hear, well, that sort of proves that they were a diversity hire or an affirmative action hire, suggesting that they were not qualified for the job in the first place. So let me be clear. I fully embrace my race and gender as well as the history and culture that they encompass, but I don't want my professional opportunity to be solely prescribed by those characteristics. Because the fact is that at Harvard, I took the same economics and finance courses as my white male counterparts. We have to manage the same investment markets, and our creditors and vendors only want to be paid in green.
Yeah.
So that's why my entire career has been an exercise of pushing against the boxes that others try to put me in to pursue my own personal objective of being an investment leader.
Yeah. So in getting to know you a little bit more, I noticed we have another theme in common, which is an appreciation for emerging and boutique managers. I love when building a portfolio, leveraging strategic partnerships with some of the larger asset managers that are really well resourced, and maybe there's opportunity for us to partnership where we excel and they excel. But I also love building relationships with emerging and boutique managers where there's a hunger and entrepreneurial sort of folks that come out of those large asset management firms but really want to build something for themselves. So I know that's Xponance, and really just want to ask you about how your partnerships with emerging managers has shaped your investment philosophy and sort of gives you the conviction you have today at Xponance.
Look, as you mentioned, I was a former allocator, and I recognize that established big brands provide differentiated or a larger set of resources, and they're also the safe choice. There's no reputational risk. As you know, size may not be predictive of future performance. One must look, for example, at whether the team today is a team of past glory, whether their dynamics are the same, or the factors that drove their success are still relevant and in place relative to current and future market conditions. Investment boutiques or emerging managers don't have the luxury of coasting on past glory. They must be laser focused on creating future success, which is what you as an allocator want. That's exactly why you're hiring them, right? And more importantly, we know from multiple studies that for certain investment strategies, investment boutiques, whether they're independent firms or boutiques within larger firms' platforms, can access alpha opportunities that are close to larger managers.
You know, I talked about a little bit of our process being very stringent. So we went through a manager selection process. We issued RFPs, we had several respondents, and really wanted to make sure that we partnered with the right firm, especially for our social values choice funds. And so one of the things that stood out about you guys was really your culture. We pride ourselves here at Wespath on our culture, but really thought your team and the culture there, it represents exactly what Wespath wants to partner with in the asset management industry. So as a leader at your organization, you really sort of are the one that fosters and nurtures this culture. And so can you tell us a little bit about how that influences your investment team and your investment decision making?
That emphasis on culture that your team sends is grounded in our belief that culture is critical because it drives behavior, and behavior drives results. Culture, for example, determines what types of behaviors and outcome measures are celebrated or deemed important, and those that are deemed unacceptable. It determines whether and how teammates collaborate. It determines whether they can speak truth to power or lean against groupthink and be embraced rather than punished. When a firm is going through a rough patch, and every firm goes through a rough patch, it determines how leaders respond. Do they cower? Do they mislead and hope no one notices? Or do they engage in proactive transparency with stakeholders? For a growing firm like Xponance, in a very dynamic environment, our cultural values of trust, excellence, client focus, and accountability have been our North Star even as we've substantially evolved.
Great. So for Wespath Social Values Fund, we obviously have a custom sort of solution. Do you mind talking about how you approach that and implement a customized product similar to what you're doing for Wespath?
Sure. So our team adopts a collaborative approach to create and implement custom solutions that align with our clients' values. We begin by engaging with them to understand their unique investment goals, the values they wish to prioritize, and their risk tolerance. From there, we present a range of tailored options, each supported by robust analytics, simulations, and backtesting. And these options may include selecting the appropriate benchmark, designing restrictive screens or targeted tilts that align with the client's values, and then through an iterative process, sharing portfolio risk factors and market factor biases that may arise from these tilts or screens with respect to industry, style, or capitalization. We find that this initial exercise, followed by ongoing collaboration and communication, builds a high level of trust with our clients in our ability to express their desired values and to manage their assets effectively.
That's great. Our Sustainable Investment Strategies team is excited to work and partner with you guys to continue to sort of create the best product possible for our clients invested in social values choice. So what is Xponance value add? Why should our clients be excited that we've partnered with you? So what is it that you think that makes you maybe different or better than some of your peers out there with a similar product?
Oh, a number of things. I would start with, we put you first. It's not about us. It's about meeting you and your participants' goals. I could start and end there, but I would also say that as part of that, we over-index, if you will, on collaborating, really understanding and being transparent about what you want and the implications of those values. So as you know, as an investment, professional, if you say I want X number of firms, or if I want to exclude X number of firms, it's sort of like pushing on a balloon, right? It creates other tilts, biases, concentrations in the portfolio. And our goal is not for no surprises, right? And so it's really just about us taking a lot of time to first understand each other. And then, on an ongoing basis, ensuring that in addition to investment excellence, we generate client service excellence, and that we bring all the firm's multiple asset teams to bear, whether it's fixed income, private equity, because all markets are connected. And so I would say that is what I believe sets us apart.
Yeah. So one of the things that motivates me as a CIO and is exciting about my role here at Wespath is a lot of our institutional investors are mission-based in that they're supporting children's homes or other organizations that are having an impact on the world. And that is so motivating. And I know that Xponance is also aligned around mission and values. Can you share a little bit about the impact that your organization has had?
Sure. Our mission is to transform access to alpha not just for our clients and the investment industry, but also the communities where we live and work. Since its founding in 2006, Xponance 501c3 organization, a Good Measure Foundation, has provided community service opportunities for Xponance employees while financially supporting nonprofits that work to improve the lives of impoverished or marginalized women and children. We also partner with Girls Who Invest. This organization, which is now 9 years old, was founded by a dear friend and former client of mine, Seema Hingarani, is committed to transforming the investment industry to increase the participation of women in investment roles. So, the track record has been awesome. As of the last year, it had over 3,000 alumni. 3 or 4 of GWI graduates remain in the industry, which is amazing. But for us, we have partnered with GWI for the last 5 years. We've hosted GWI interns at our Durham and Philadelphia office. And I'm also a member of the board of directors of GWI. And this year, we actually hired one of our interns to work in our investment teams.
Yeah, no, you guys do a lot. I've learned
we do.
so much
I could
here,
talk all day about that.
Yeah,
as you
no,
can
I'm
tell.
so impressed. And Girls Who Invest, I'm actually mentoring a young woman that is part of it, and she talks so much about it. And she's like, you need to participate with Girls Who Invest.
Oh,
and,
we have to get you more involved.
Yes, I need to just find the time. So I do so much, and stuff like Girls Who Invest is really, I'm so passionate about it, and just this young woman, the way she talks about it. And I remember meeting Seema many years ago when this was sort of first starting, and it's beautiful to see where it is today and sort of supporting the younger generation. So I am so thankful that we've had this chance to talk to each other. And one of the things that is really also a pleasure around working with firms like yours is when I am placing a phone call, I'm directly speaking to you, the CEO, the founder. So that is truly part of the value is the connection that we will have as leaders of our own organizations. And so I look forward to just spending more time with you and getting to know you more and working with your team. So thank you for the time today.
You're so welcome, and as do I.
Yes.
You know how to reach me.
Yes, I sure do. You know that I do already. Thank you, Tina.
All right.